Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know what it is. It's me, your boy Trey. I got Ron G, the Speak Easy's on. This is First Formation Morning Sports Talk, and it's so come on and fall in with us this morning. As you know, we got a little bit to talk about, a little bit of time, maybe an hour, hour and a half. I don't know.
A
Maybe
little
we go to
bit.
full. Maybe we go full. I don't know, but we gonna sit up and make it do what it do. It's crazy as we sit up and talk about maybe we all NBA today. NBA free agency started out with a bang. We got some what let's say what should we call it, or should we just call it what it is? Some possibilities that can make it a strong case for a certain part of the region. Ron, what's good with you this morning, brother?
WGO. WGO. What's going on? You got it already up for them. NBA free agency. Um, Yesterday was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was a day we will always remember in sports.
Yes,
I've
sir.
been I've
Yes,
been
sir.
sad, Trey, since the basketball season ended. Football season. Ben left us. We got a couple more weeks, and it was dry out in the streets.
For a
The
second,
NBA took care of us.
it's basically yeah, like you said yesterday, the draft wasn't they didn't leave anything, no explosions, but they I guess is like we got Fourth of July weekend. I guess
Yeah.
NBA is like let us set us hold told the NBA hold their beer and it's like just watch this, just
You
watch
know,
this.
our job, our love, our passion, our obligation is to talk about all the shenanigans, and
Yes.
they gave us a summer's worth of content.
Yes, yes. You all the list, like I said, that's probably all we got NBA today because it's like, bruh, there's like so many different lines and stuff like that to sit up and talk about. As y'all know, say for those who have been on the rock or maybe don't understand it to the degree, we got you. What's good, Key? Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. A lot of, I guess you could say, additionally heartbreak when you look at it, but of course, like I was about to say, yeah, he's okay. I think he gonna jump on. He's supposed to be taking the trip. Being flown out, or he's flying out. So
Oh,
I think he's gonna jump on a little bit to sit up and give his 2 cents to whatever we got. But yeah, he's okay.
wow.
Uh, to the extent I don't know. I haven't spoke to him talking about other things. Uh, he doesn't. I'm not sure if he's up on. Well, you know what? I don't want to reveal too much. We're just getting to it, so it'll come. Oh, Key,
I thought his
you
heart was broke.
you spoke him up. Key was just asking about you, bro. What's going on with you?
I know he ain't doing
He
too
probably
well.
he walking in the airport probably.
He gonna be hurt.
What's
He
good? What's
leaving the
good,
country
Frack?
because of Brooklyn.
Hey, Brooklyn flying them out. It's like, hey, we gotta talk about some stuff.
He
This
said,
is what
"I'm
we
done
got
with
going on.
everybody." If KD and Kyrie's done, I'm done.
He's going to another country. Like this is like I'm tired of this. So as I say, just like we say, of course, free agency started yesterday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, Eastern Standard Time. Of course, where it's going to go on all week until July 6th. July 6th is when they'll be able to officially sign their deals at 12 p.m., 12:01 p.m. Of course, what's good, Zach? What's good? What's good? Yes, Ben is the captain now. Well, we you know what? That's a little presumptuous. It's all rumors. But of course, like I was about to say, starting out with what was hot in the streets, as Ron said, Brooklyn, Brooklyn. For Kevin Durant basically came on and stated, "Oh, wait, I don't want to give up too much." Where you know what I'm saying, Bishop? You there, Bishop? Can you hear us, Bishop? Can you hear us, Bishop? I wonder if this is one of those things where he act like he can hear us, but he can't. Can you hear us, Bishop? Okay, but anyway, in any case, Brooklyn, Kevin Durant requested a trade. Initially, or what we have understood, or what we have heard, initially the trade is uh was enacted because he wanted to go to Miami or Phoenix. But drum roll, please. The rumor has been maybe there will be a trade enacted, which will send Kevin Durant and his Robin, Kyrie Irving, to the Los Angeles Lakers for a package. Ron, what have you to say about that, my brother? Is this a Christmas early? Is this what it is?
You know,
Are the NBA gods lining up?
you have a famous line that you love saying,
Yes,
and I'm
sir.
just like, what was it like in the Brooklyn front office past week or so?
Oh my life.
And I'm sure they just was looking at each other, Trey, and like, oh my life, I had to
I had to
fight.
fight. Wow.
They're like, God dang, what has happened in Brooklyn? Just we got to look at their whole past decade, ever since they traded everything away for Paul Pierce and KG. It's just Brooklyn, Brooklyn. They're the Clippers, Clippers East, Clippers East. And you call Kyrie Robin. Kyrie don't be walking around and behaving like no Robin. Well,
True
sometimes
that. True
Robin
that.
do be out of control and just doing whatever he want, and Batman just be like
Yeah, because
Robin.
you gotta remember, Robin of lately has been like a loose cannon. He's just like out of control. He does what he wants. Batman just looks at him and be like, "Robin, what are you doing?"
Yeah,
So you know what I'm saying. So
I
that's
like that.
basically
Yeah, we definitely Kyrie be acting like Robin. I love it. So yeah, Batman and Robin came out and said they are a package
or
deal.
the
Oof.
Justice League LA is now the Justice League. Well, we like Anthony Price said, he wants to rain on my parade. It's raining here in the central Louisiana region, and so Anthony does no difference. He's bringing it right here into my very own home and our living rooms to y'all, the rain and everything. But like Anthony said, it's
Can't
true.
stay in the
It
rain.
has it. It has it. Yeah. When it starts to fall, cutting water off. He's trying to cut water off. But in any case,
Hey, I hate that
he,
I'm not on the show, man.
I don't know. You might
I
not want to
hate
be
that
here
I'm
today.
missing it, man. As I can see, I'm on my flight. But it's a whole lot of stuff to talk about, and I hate that I'm missing it. Um,
Yes, we was just talking about the Bay part. Key first, I like to preface it and say Key asked if she's worried about your well being. She is like, are you okay? That was Key. She asked if you was okay.
Right. Hopefully, you got somebody around you, Bishop, that cares for you, that'll take care of you. Your heart might. We don't want your heart to give out while you up in the air thinking about this Brooklyn travesty. Like,
you
so
know,
is
What'd you say, Bishop?
gave that
so
man a big smile.
that's what it was. Like, I don't know you, bro. What's good, Alvin? What's good, morning, brother? How you doing? But yeah, so yes, so like Anthony said, don't get too happy. It has don't get the hopes up with. And I'm not. We're just at this point. We're preferencing this conversation to where what ifs like this was unfathomable at the beginning of this. No one expected, but a couple people did call it. Bishop did say yesterday that KD is probably going to probably ask for a request of trade. Coach Uriah the same. I was just listening to it as fodder. I didn't take it to be real. I just like, oh well. All I know is Kyrie opted in, and there probably was a possibility of him being traded still after the fact. But imagine the surprise and the continuous conversation in which to hear what if we have a connection where you have, but we just saying Batman and Robin connect gets hooked up with Superman. I don't know. Maybe it could happen. That would definitely reset again the NBA universe, the meta, in the NBA metaverse.
The silver first, the Adam Silver.
So another take a bow, Adam. Take a bow, Adam. So of
So
course, go ahead, Ron. Yes, sir.
it's just so much to unpack. First of all, the trade,
Mm-hmm.
how it could happen, what it would look like on the court, and so we putting KD at the 4,
Mm-hmm.
LeBron at the 3,
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie at the 2. Right?
Yes.
We need a defensive. I really just want all defense around them, Trey. If this was so to happen to our special Lakers, oh, I'm just surrounding those three with defense. Because the crazy part is you don't need no offense when you got Kyrie and KD. That's what Brooklyn leaded. And then, oh wait, we got LeBron James, the man that's going to be leading the league in scoring total, and he's not even a scorer. Oh, I want LeBron as the third option. Everything goes through KD, Kyrie, you cook, LeBron, and then we just got defensive stoppers around him. A big man in the guard that can defend. That's what I think. Oh,
Mm. I, I wish they was able to get Joe Harris too in the deal to bring us another shooter.
oh, you want everybody? We
Well,
still
I mean,
get
if we
Clay
doing
too.
it, well, we know that's not going to happen because they need to keep shooters around being for the most part. If it was to happen, and again, like you're saying, and I think, and now because I'm not going to even lie as we get into it, as we start to go and unwrap some of these moves over for this early time frame. But I was wondering why they was moving the way they were in during this free agency period.
Right.
Now, which was gives me more thoughts to maybe what we're discussing and talking about is a grave possibility that this happens the way that how it's playing out when you look at it basically. Uh, so you know what I'm saying again. Of course, we like I said, we'll be on this. It's going to continue to lead back. We'll get into it, of course. One thing that happened yesterday, basically, tell me if you believe this was a good look. Denver extends center Nikola Jokic 5 years, 264 million, which is the biggest deal in NBA history. To secure him and leave him solidify his for at least for the next well we would think for the next 5 years in Denver. We all know trades happen, but do you think he was worth that deal?
Joker is going to be on the Denver Nuggets for the rest of his life.
He's going to be another with the latest another one.
I would see myself winning the lottery before Joker ever would come out and request a trade.
Mm.
And Denver clearly showed they ain't letting him go.
Yes, and as Key just stated, with the additional contract extension, his contract is actually 6 years, $303 million. Uh, a bag indeed,
Lord have mercy.
with the player option.
$300 million.
Of course, um, again, Utah Waves. Your man, he does. Your man, Honcho, does produces hustle. NBA free agency happened, and he gets waived. I think the rumor has been that he has a huge attitude problem, in which hence the reason why they waived him. But Utah Waves forward Honcho Herman Gomez, he is now able to be picked up. Memphis extends Ja Morant 5 years, 193 million, which possibly could turn to 231 million over the time frame. Additionally, they also re-signed guard Tyus Jones to a 2 year, $30 million contract. Last night, of course, yesterday, their forward Jerry Jackson Jr. Um, had foot surgery, which now he will be out 6 to 8 weeks. But in any case, they're moving right along, doing securing their team for the future. Some of the key, of course, a couple of their key cogs in their what their train was rolling along as they worked to the second best team in the West. and just look to work on that. Continue to work on that.
Second,
What's that now?
second best team out west.
They were. They had the second best record. They was a 2 seed.
Okay.
It was Phoenix, Memphis,
Oh, I
Golden
know the
State.
seedings. I know the
Yeah.
seedings. You know what I'm asking.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, they're not the second. I mean, they were the second best team. If things go the way they're finna go, we're finna have a whole different outlook on what the
Yeah.
West looks like.
The,
It's a whole shift,
the way everything is setting right now,
seismic.
although there's going to be a big shift, I would feel like Memphis Grizzlies was the best team out west, better than.
Okay, I can better than Phoenix. I can get that. Yeah, I can understand that. When you say that now, I can completely understand. I can agree completely that they probably were. Had they been stay healthy as we continue to say, we might have been looking at a different champion one way or another. Not saying they would have been them, but we definitely would have been a different champion. Um, what else we got? Oh, additionally, Minnesota's Carl Anthony Towns, again another contributor to the extension as he receives a 4-year, $224 million extension to his rookie contract. Of course, over the course of the 6 years, he will make $295 million. Um, Additionally, they were able to wrangle forward Kyle Anderson from Memphis and giving him a 2-year, $19 million contract. Uh, yes, just saying bags all over the place. Why we gotta be Cowboy fans? The difference is, Anthony, as I have so many times stated, that LA has a plan. Their plan is exactly that. They bring in top name talent that look at producing something outside of just basketball. It's a large money market, one of the largest, and it produces for them. So true enough, you know what I'm saying, it's not about Cowboy live dreaming. It's just LA is most likely to make it happen. That's just what it comes out to be. If KD goes to the Sun, they might be the favorites. We're not going to talk such blasphemy there, Leslie. Uh, but yeah, so that, of course, that part. Um, but no, that's not going to happen. But it's not about us dreaming. It's about what is productive. That's what productive. They consistently gives up a lot at times to get a lot. You had if Mexican was so scared money don't make money. Yes, Ja did earn his contract without a doubt. I agree, completely agree. Uh, Other conversation. I'll get a little more deeper into the free agency pool. Washington was able to re-sign Bradley Beal. I'm sorry, on his contract. Uh, where he was able to get the max 5-year 5-year, $250 million contract. Just as we simply stated, he left 36 on the million to extend his pockets a little bit more. Now he's secure 5 years, 251 million. Additionally, they were able to sign guard Dayline Wright to a 2-year, $16 million deal. Now they're starting to a little more so formulate. I think they picked up a couple of more players in the draft as well. Correction, in free agency, probably lesser known players, but for the most part, that's where they're sitting at as they look to build. As we say, if the things go the way they're going to go, there's going to be a complete and utter shift in the basketball metaverse, in which everyone's going to be scrambling to make their team better or getting where they fit in, basically. Going to Ron, your squad. What have you say? PJ Tucker makes a move. Philly gives him a slight bag. A little prime in your prime, little over your prime bag. 3 years, $33 million, while also signing uh while also signing Daniel House, guard Daniel House, 2 years, 8.5 million. Where do you think this puts your beloved um, Thibault
Or
and Harris?
there's one more acquisition that
What
the
was
Sixers
that?
need to make.
Mm-hmm.
That is to get Eric Gordon, and we will officially be
Ooh.
the Philadelphia Rockets East. Daryl Morey bringing the whole crew back together. Yep, Philly Rockets, and I love it. It's two powers joining together. Best team in the East. I'm gonna give the second team out East right now, behind the Bucks. Everything,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, at this point, but I am extremely proud of the Sixers because just think
Mm-hmm.
about it. Them and Brooklyn was in the same bed together. Like, let's give each other, trade each other's problems, and hope for the best. And you asked me if I'd rather be a Philly or a Brooklyn fan this morning. I have no option but to be grateful to root for the Sixers. Great pickups, way to lock in Harden, make sure Embiid's happy. It's
Mm-hmm.
rolling. They're looking good.
And which just saying he just stated where we do know is this weekend, Philly and James Harden are supposed to meet up, in which they're supposed to come to an agreement to negotiate what his deal with be going will be going forth, as they have secured both Daniel House and PJ Tucker. And it was a traveling, I mean, web traveling as well. Was another pickup they had in which they but of course what we are not seeing or hearing yet is who is going out, if any. Key I guess Key just said Bruce Brown going to the Nuggets. um so that means he's leave another acquisition to leave from Brooklyn, and a few more as we get a little further down the list. But it remains to be seen, but we'll definitely get back to that in this. Phoenix reportedly uh, Phoenix has reportedly signed Devin Booker, guard Devin Booker to a supermax. So what's good, Cornelius? What's good this morning, brother?
What's up with it?
What's going on? What's going on? Nothing much.
What's up?
Nothing
Can you hear
much.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you get loud and clear.
Okay.
So yes, so Phoenix reportedly has re-signed guard Devin Booker, 4 years, 224 million, which additionally gives him the same contract in which Karl Anthony Towns got, 6 years, 295 million extension to begin in 2024. So they make another move. Still to be seen. They have a conversation that they're having with Aiden. Will Aiden remain? Is there a possibility in KD moving getting to Phoenix? Of course, it was reported that not Golden State, Brooklyn is not taking any deal from KD to Phoenix without Booker or then Aiden in it. So it doesn't look like that's possible now with the re-signing of it. So Phoenix may be out the sweepstakes for Kevin Durant. Um, do you think? Actually, I hold that question. I got it. I'll come back to that. Portland resigns Anthony Simons, 4 year, $100 million. Additionally, they signed and pulled away a key piece from the currently defending champion Golden State Warriors as they pull Gary Payton II away, 3 years, $28 million. Um, I have thoughts about that. Matter of fact, if Gary Payton was so important to Golden State, why do you think they allowed him to walk out the door for what's that, $8 million? You don't think they was going like they let him walk for $8 million, or do you think that was all Gary Payton II's thought? Like, you know what, I'm out here. I'm good.
Well, he want to go somewhere where he can get more minutes. It's a struggle to get minutes in Golden State. Go somewhere where you can play more. Heard he did what he do. Once you get that championship title, you get more money. I don't think Golden State. Then they made draft picks. They got draft picks. They still got. You still haven't seen Wiseman on the court. Kaminga got to get in the game, man. So Golden State couldn't keep all of them dudes. So I think he's just a casualty of what the league is and what Golden State building right now. Uh, you know, uh, he wasn't that monumental to their runs. He was hurt. He was hurt a lot of the runs. I mean, he was hurt a lot of that run. He missed games. So yeah, it makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. And as you see, the comments are going off the comments. A lot of conversations basically speaking about it. Making more playing time, securing more money for later process for players, Wiggins maybe and Poole. So I get it. Maybe that could be it. Exactly why they released him. I mean, why they let him walk out the door. A little over 8 million, of course, over 8 million. 9 million actually, 9 million a year. I get it. I understand it. Going to where Anthony. So he asked me, do I think Anthony Towns was a good signing? I mean, all they did was basically secure him for the future. So even though we talk about because we're looking at this as free agency, they're extending them 3 to 4 years is a long time in all actuality. So we know in 3 to 4 years what can happen. As we look at potentially what can potentially be a trade um, from out of Brooklyn, possibly, in which we would have never thought, saying these stars or certain stars would get traded. They're solidified in their positions with it. I think things happen. People have to make it. It's all about the business for the most part, and there's no truly there's no loyalty potentially in keeping the player on your squad. You would like to see these people stay. At some point, I feel like if you're a player, once you get up into your prime and you try to stay with the team, as you start to decline, although you have been there, you're fair game. In which so you have to look at, okay, as I start declining, do I leave? Or do I sit and force myself out? Do I allow them to move me, or do I retire? And that's saying when you look at people like, in my opinion, Kobe was close, where he should have probably been let go sooner than but it played out. They let him finish his last year there under his last year in his contract, and and that was it. When you look at players like Steph Curry, potentially when he starts to hit his decline, he has been great. He himself has brought Golden State multiple championships. In which do you continue to give homage to him and allow him to stick around? Or do you get rid of him? Or do you move him when you can? Maybe a team is willing to take him because they believe what he may be able to bring to their organization, even in a lesser role. So that stuff starts to play out for the most part. So I think Karl Anthony Towns is an all right pickup. I mean, he's still young for the most part. Uh, Ideally, you bring people around him, and then they may or may not get together. They got Ant-Man Anthony there. They still have D'Lo there, so it may work out.
I think it's over. I think they overpaid, but um, he is like one of the only 2010 dudes in the league right now. So
You think they overpaid him?
Yeah, I think they overpaid Karl Anthony Towns. But that's
Giving
the
him
thing with
max.
that's the thing with the Minnesota organizations, man. They overpay for certain players. Vikings did it with Kirk Cousins. That's what they do. I think they overpaid him because you need help out there. Like Karl Anthony Towns, he's been in a long time, and they what 2 playoff appearances or something. Like they ain't really going nowhere with him. I think Anthony Edwards. When it's his turn, they'll probably end up paying him. But Karl Anthony Towns, I wouldn't. He got a super max, right? Didn't he get a super max?
He got the rookie extended supermax 4 years, 224 million.
Yeah, that's they paid way too. I think they paid a little bit too much for him. I wouldn't have paid him that much if I was Minnesota but it's clearly about some teams not trying to win. And you can see that by some of the moves. It's like you paid Karl Anthony Towns all that money just to do what? make a play in again, maybe get bounced in the first round. You know,
Mm.
yeah, I don't think they're going that far with him. I mean, even though he's a 20-10 dude, it's just not enough. It's not, like it's like the to me, it's like the Russell Westbrook thing, man. You can put up all these great numbers, but you can't take a team anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
like team can't get on your back and go anywhere. So yeah, I agree with AP right there where he said he don't think he's worth that much money.
He's not worth them.
I don't think he was worth it.
Okay, I think I can see it. I think it remains to be seen. He's going to probably have to play out, do a little more playing, uh, being one of those, for the most part, big men. What we thought was a true big man. What we're trying to see is he's trying to do a little more stepping out when while he adds the 3 point to his game and try to be a matchup nightmare. I think that's good when you have that ability, but to sit up and you to try to rely on that ability for the most part is where you start to fall short, and that diminishes your the talent. Like you say, 20-10 guy, be a banger. That's what you're there. You're a center. Be a banger. Um, what else we got? What else we got? Miami re-signs guard Victor Oladipo 1 year on the 1 year deal, $11 million. Milwaukee with the full sweep, they retain their forward Portis on a 4 year, $49 million deal. At one point, it looked like Portis might have been heading out of Milwaukee, going to Golden State. But of course, they changed those that traverse that, giving him the 49 a bag of his own. Guard Javon Carter stays, as well as guard forward Wesley Matthews. Javon Carter 2 year, Matthews on a 1 year deal. Additionally, um, Milwaukee adds forward Joe Ingles in free agency on a 1 year deal, leaving Utah after his injury. Now he's a buck, adds a little more shooting in in Milwaukee. Uh, Speaking of overpaying, I'd like to have y'all. Of course, y'all high speeds. Cornelius, Jalen Brunson signs $104 million deal, 4 years to
Yeah.
be to leave Luca in Dallas and go be the starting point guard for the Knicks. He didn't even grant Dallas an interview. Basically, spurned them. They had to basically cancel whatever they had thought they were going to get. Um, with this deal, makes Jalen Bronson the first player in NBA history to receive $100 million bag deal, despite not even being an All Star. Was Jalen Bronson overpaid?
Yes, that's the Knicks right now. They Julius Randle, now this guy Brunson. I didn't get it. For a guy that scores what 16 points a game, for a guy
Mm-hmm.
that averaged like 16 points a game, you're gonna pay that much money for what? What is he gonna do for you? Um, but doesn't his don't his daddy or somebody coaching the Knicks or
He
something or
worked.
working?
Yeah, he's in the organization. Yeah, he works in the organization.
Yeah,
He
man.
retired.
They overpaid that dude. Like, but it's the Knicks, and you wonder why that franchise is suffering. Um, I don't know what is he going to bring to them that's going to validate that money. What is he going to bring? I mean, we saw him in Dallas. Like I actually just heard of him. This, like
More
he
than
been in the
coach.
league a little bit, right? And this past season was the only season I really heard of him. So I don't see him doing much for them, man. I don't.
Yeah, he's been
I
in the
think.
league three years, 4 years. Of course, he came from Villanova after they won their championship. So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I think they could have. I think the Knicks could have got something better for that amount of money. I don't know. I don't know what the Knicks doing. And I'm wondering if Thibodeau is signing off on this stuff, man, or is it just upper management making these decisions? Because
so
so
now
you
you have a lineup with R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, and Jalen Bronson.
man, all those moves that they made, I really thought they were going to go after somebody like a Kyrie or a Kevin Durant or something. I didn't know they really made all those moves for Brunson.
That's the idea. They
they really
cleared out.
made all those.
They cleared $30 million in cap to pay Brunson $104 million.
And they weren't even they weren't even a playoff team. They weren't even a playoff team last year. You know, first round out the year before, man. It's not going to help them. So I don't know why they did that.
And I was up and thinking like they brung Bronson in. They brung Bronson in, and it's like, oh, Bronson, was he overpaid?
Oh, Bronson overpaid. He got 25 mil a year.
Yeah, 104, 104 years, 104 million.
No, that's not bad for a Brunson if I'm acquiring him to be my second, hopefully third option. That's about. I think that's cheaper than Tobias Harris' contract. So if you ask me if I'd rather have Bronson or Harris, Trey, you know the answer. It's not a bad deal, but what it is, it's a bad look.
Okay.
For everybody involved.
Like Cornelius was just saying, they did all that just to bring in Bronson.
Right, exactly. I'm disappointed in the Knicks. I'm disappointed in the Mavericks, and I'm disappointed in Brunson.
Of course, Coach Rise speaks about Anthony Simons. He's basically said that he thinks he was overpaid as well, which he received a similar type deal, $25 million a year for a person giving you 16 points a game. He's like, Anthony said, I could give him 14. Sign him.
That's about 18 million a year, AP. 14.
So I just wonder, like even like Cornelius was just saying, like Bronson for the most part has just showed up on the scene, and what we see is, in my opinion, is these Villanova players, because you got to think Malcolm Brogdon crept in and became a hot commodity a year or so ago, 2 years ago. After winning the championship in Villanova, he got the Rookie of the Year, and then the next year he got a bag. Now we look at, here we are down the line, Jalen Bronson, same position. He has a hot off season. Like, I feel like he's solidified this basically based off how he played. Why Luka was down, secured 25 million a year for the next 4 years. But I ask this question to y'all or anyone in the comments: what does it say towards being a Luka teammate? We have a top name in Porzingis who bounced, who's now in Washington. Who is again? That's another piece in Washington with now Bradley Beal, who left last year, and now you have Jalen Bronson, who leaves as well. What does it say, in your opinion, for for Luka? Can he keep teammates?
Well, we learned the last offseason that Luka a crybaby, man. We learned the last offseason that he spoiled, that and Luka all about himself. He's not about team right now. I don't think he likes any of his teammates. I don't think he can win with those dudes, really. So I think it's like goodness for him. For me is simple. Luka is not a good teammate. He's sort of like you could tell he's not a good teammate, because half the time he don't care who, like he hogged the ball. He don't want to pass the ball. He don't trust his teammates.
Oh, I can't believe you went there, CC.
JP, you right. Brogdon was a University of Virginia player. My bad. But go ahead, Ryan. What you saying?
I can't believe CC just went there. Luka is definitely a special player, but to take it to that extent, CC is wild. We're talking about a EuroLeague MVP, a championship winning Euro MVP.
who has had lots of teammates, and he is, of course, European, so it's
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to connect with his American-born players. But what I think it is just it's not fun to play with Luca, especially if you're somebody that like to hoop, like you like to have the ball, you like to do your own thing with it, create, dribble, be a star, which is what Bronson was trying to do. It's kind of like playing with LeBron James. You kind of
Mm-hmm.
just got to be ready to stand in the corner and shoot.
Interesting enough, Coach Uriah states Dallas never intended to play Brunson, so that basically said they was going to keep him. They are trying to find the right star to pair with Luca, who is in truth more like Carmelo Anthony and AI in regards to you can't build around these guys. So he so basically sounds like he's saying you can't build around Luca. It's almost impossible to build around Luca. Do you
Right.
agree?
Right. Look at the players that they put around AI. I mean, it barely worked with Melo. Ball centric people, just like Russell Westbrook and LeBron James, they
Mm-hmm.
both need the ball in their hands. So it's always going to be hard to match them. You got to put people who have no prerogative in scoring around them. A perfect pickup for the Mavs, Rudy Gobert. Don't want no offense. Don't want nothing to do with the ball. I'm just gonna be the stifle tower. Luca, you don't even gotta look at me on offense. Although I do like a pass every now and then, a little bit more than Donovan Mitchell. Let's try at least two a game. But CC to say all those things about Luca, you don't mean all of that.
I'm just saying, man, it shows on the court like he don't like to pass the ball to his teammates. Like those dudes be wide open, and Luca will go, Luca will go 1-on-4, man. He'll go 1-on-5. Like, he don't trust him. Like when the game on the line, he don't trust him. Like he it's not a knock against Luca, man. It's just the truth of the dynamics of the teams. Like he don't trust his teammates. Like when Porzingis was there, uh, Porzingis wouldn't do things to make himself relevant. I would have got rid of Porzingis too because man, you that tall and Luca got the ball. Hey, go get a rebound. Go get an offensive rebound every now and then. Go, make yourself relevant in that aspect instead of just waiting for him to pass you the ball. Like make yourself relevant at times. He gonna shoot the ball. Go, when Shaq realized Kobe was gonna shoot the ball, what did he do? He offensive rebound. He went down low to get the rebound. I mean, that's what you got to do. Go down low. Make yourself relevant sometimes. But when you a guard out there with Luca, man, he not passing you the ball. So yeah, and he was spoiled last year, man. All the controversy he had. He got rid of a couple of years ago. He got rid of the coach. What was his name? They brought in Jason Kidd, as a matter of fact. Because
He
of
got
that,
rid
he got rid
of
of Carlisle.
Yeah,
Carlisle.
Indiana,
He got rid of Rick Carlisle.
because
Shot caller.
he was trying to make that man play actual basketball. Luca said, "Oh no, 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 no."
So
So,
just go ahead. Go ahead.
CC, if you in the NBA,
Mm-hmm.
you a guard. I don't know if you want to be a guard, wing, or a big man, and you got the opportunity to play with Luca. You turning it down?
No, because I understand. Like that's another thing too. The role players have to understand their roles, man. Like I said, if he's not gonna pass you the ball, you got to find other ways to make yourself effective. And he will pass the ball. It's just that can he trust you though? Like can he trust you to make the shot? Like if I keep passing you the ball and you keep missing, I'm gonna stop passing you the ball. So you gotta, uh, they don't have. I would rather be a wing if I played with Luca because
Yeah,
you can slash to the bucket. You can slash to the bucket. He will drop dimes. Now he'll triple double do. So he'll
right.
drop those dimes, but slash to the bucket. They don't have like Dallas hasn't figured that out yet to get a slasher. Maybe they'll get a slasher now with Brunson gone, but. Yeah, if you're a ball dominant dude, nah, you're not gonna make it with Luca. You'll be frustrated. So slash to the basket, get open, flash open for the threes and some of those mid range jumpers, and you'll be all right.
So additionally, they did add center JaVale McGee, who signs a 3-year deal in Dallas. So now they have JaVale McGee, presumably even as a backup or the starter And then of course Christian Wood is there as well, who can start as well as center or move to the four. So would it sound like, does it sound like they're building more of a defensive presence and just going to plan to rely on Luca and whoever else they can
Yeah,
gain the
yeah.
offense?
I was feeling them 1,000%. I woke up this morning to find disappointing news. I thought they was gonna lock in Gary Payton. He went to go play with Dame
Mm-hmm.
in Portland, which would be a great backcourt, I guess. Dame, congratulations, you built a credible seventh seed out west. Portland's been doing a hell of a job this off season. But what is it worth? But I was really looking forward to seeing the Mavericks lock in a lockdown perimeter guard to put alongside Lucas, because we know that man ain't playing no defense. That's the only thing I said they needed to get back to where they got this year.
What's defense?
Yeah, the Western Conference was a big man and a defensive guard or a scoring guard. So they still need to get a guard though. But I love the big man. McGee will start. I'm sure Woods will be at the four, Luca at the three. Um,
Mm.
they just got to figure out that backcourt.
And which they still have Dinwiddie. He's still there. Uh, Bullock is still there. Presumably, who's that? Kleber is still there. So
They
What
don't need.
about where's the Hardaway Jr. man? But what happened to him?
Oh yeah, he's
he's
coming
there.
back.
He's there.
He's
He's
coming
there.
back.
Yeah, he was injured, so he's there. But like you said, it's definitely different things than which we thought for Gary Payton II. As Ron just stated, he's he he's gone. He's in Portland now. So now you have Dane, Simon, uh, Gary Payton II. Um, Nurkic still hasn't been resigned. He's another free agent possibility. I'm very sure they're not going to let him walk. I know for damn sure they're not going to let him walk. But what was Coach saying? Gary Payton went home. We know Golden State couldn't resign all these guys. Don't be surprised if Poole leaves. Is Poole that important to Golden State?
No. They've shown you they got the interchangeable pieces. Any of those guys can leave except Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Everybody else can, move around. They'll still be relevant.
Mm.
They'll still be
And like
relevant.
you said, they still got stashed people on their bench. Like you said, Wiseman uh, drafted 2 years ago, going on 3 years ago, and he's only played 1 year. Back end of 1 year, and then sat out all last year. So he should be ready to go. Young talent, he should be ready to go in a little bit. Surprise to me, Ron. Sacramento signs guard Malik Monk, 2 years, 19 million. Again, we have a situation in which LA will let somebody walk out their door, but maybe there's a reason for it. Just like they can play Caruso, they signed THT. Just made the same mistake they made with keeping Kyle Kuzma, but maybe we have other things in plan. We'll get to that in a second. Oklahoma City re-signs Lou Dort, 5 years, $87 million. Is that overrated pay, or do you think that was just in the right market? Orlando extends Gary Harris, 2 years, 26 million. Uh, again, maybe more, giving more, I could say weapons, but giving more of solidifying a team for now, a young squad in Cole Anthony, um, Panchero now, Cole Anthony, who's that? Jalen from Gonzaga last year, addition Mo Bamba. Lou Dort, like his coach said, a good 3-and-D guy. Defense matters to him. He locked down the Lakers a couple of times. He was a catalyst behind the Lakers losing some of the games they lost to OKC when we thought they should have won. Shell get there with SGA and
No.
Moody, so they should be OKC. I think is going to be a young undercover team coming back uh, next year.
Yeah, they'll win 25 games.
Brooklyn re-signs Nick. That's just slid right past me. Nick Center Nick Claxton, signs 2 years, $20 million to stay in Brooklyn. Patty Mills resigns for 2 years, 14.5 million as well. As that starts to right now, we're looking. You know what? Who else I would like to get? I stand corrected, Ron. You know who I like to get instead of Harris? I like to get the other Curry brother. Put him in the deal too. Ship him on out.
Seth Curry
Yes, I take Seth.
for the who? The Lakers?
Yeah, I take him in the trade as well.
He taking
Uh,
every.
it's like I'm a
A
person
trade.
that I kick you when you down. I'm trying to get everything.
I was like a
Uh,
trade for who? Who trading for the Lakers? Like I don't think who wants to go to LA right now. I mean, honestly, like who wants to go to LA right
hold that thought. Hold that thought.
now?
We finna double back to that in a second. The Los Angeles Clippers also re-signed. Correction, not the Clippers. Oh, I was right. Yeah, they re-signed Amir Coffey 3 years, $11 million, as well as bringing back Nicholas Batum, who opts in after opting out. Of course, like we said, just like Bradley Beal did, opt out to get a better deal. At the time, they did at print. They did not have what his financials were. Toronto resigns Chris Boucher, 3 years, $32 million deal. Denver agrees to terms with DeAndre Jordan, as well as resigns guard Davon Reed. So DeAndre Jordan will be leaving Philly on his way to Denver. Another DeAndre Drummond signs a 2-year deal, $6.6 million to go play in Chicago. I think that moves the needle a little bit. Um,
No,
Now you have Vucevic, Drummond. Um, who was that? Williams isn't there a Williams in there?
yeah, the young guy they got.
Yeah, they got him. So that coach, yeah, I figured Coach Hunter. That's a huge move. I don't know how LA let Drummond even walk away, but they did. Um,
In defense.
what'd you say, Cornelius?
Rebounding in defense with that Drummond
Yeah,
move.
yeah, that's he may not be a huge scorer, but he's going to get you. He's a hard nosed guy. But
Mm.
I digress.
Yeah,
Uh,
hated losing him from Philly.
for real, and he went and did work in Brooklyn in that short time frame, and leaves them. Detroit re-signs Marvin Bagley III, 3 years, $37 million. Also, they signed Kevin Knox, 2 years, $6 million. What else? Where else we at? Houston resigns guard Jay Sean Tate, 3 years, 22 million to continue to add to that young nucleus in which they have. And of course, my beloved Lakers, last but not least, which initially I thought were some suspect moves. I was I was boiling on the inside. I wasn't showing it, but I was boiling on the inside. Like, what the hell are y'all doing? But I think the moves are for something bigger, beyond us, is above us now type tactics. The Lakers basically signed the forward Juan Toscano Anderson from uh, the defending champions Golden State Warriors. He moves over to LA, moving down the coastline. Additionally, they signed um, Lonnie Jones, Lonnie Walker the fourth from San Antonio, signing him to a 1 year, $6.5 million deal. And then lastly, then of course, two more acquisitions. They agreed to terms with forward Troy Brown Jr. and center Damian Jones on the 2 year deal with a second year player option to be enacted. So young, athletic guys is what LA basically added to the team. Of course, they picked up the option on Stanley Johnson. They picked up the option on Gabriel, which is still a little youth still. A couple players which they had. They still, of course, Westbrook opted in. They still had Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Kendrick Nunn. He opted in, so they have him. They still had THT that was still there. Austin Reeves as well. So I believe maybe this does start to give some credence. I mean, we all have our wishes. Stranger things have happened. Durant and Kyrie to LA for AD and Westbrook. Let's
See,
make it. Let's make it happen.
it sounds like you basically said they signed a whole bunch of players to send to Brooklyn.
That that and it sounds like they can't really find anybody really relevant that wants to play with LeBron. I'm just gonna put that out there. That's what it sounds like to me. You can't really get too many formidable players with names that you recognize. Lonnie Walker, the fourth, I like him out of San Antonio.
Yeah,
That's a good
he's
move.
nice. Yeah, yeah, that was a good
That's a
move.
good,
That was surprising
but
for a
Toscano,
veteran minimum too. True,
You haven't seen a lot of him on the court, man. You don't know what
true.
he's gonna give you. Playing, and plus it's LA playing. Playing where the lights are on you, and playing in the brightest lights on the biggest stage, man. Like I would have to see a little bit more from him before I can just say. But yeah, no, Lakers. What are you doing? Like, but you really think they can make that trade though? You think they can make?
So let's really talk about this, right? Is it a bad trade? Is it a bad trade? Let's say the package is THT, maybe Kendrick Nunn, uh,
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook
Uh-uh.
for for Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and Seth Curry.
Nope. It needs to be a third team.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't do that.
Yeah,
I
Brooklyn.
don't think
Once you say we're sending you Westbrook and AD, I think that's when Brooklyn's like, oh, we good. So you gotta find a team that's
yeah,
gonna take Westbrook.
right.
You don't think they would want Westbrook? You think you get the same player in Westbrook and Sim and Ben? Because
Um,
I think now it's time for Ben to have a position change. Like we know we have you to run you as a power. I mean a point guard, but we don't need you as a guard. I need you to play 3 or 4.
Mm. Man, I don't know. You think LeBron will sign off on that?
Yeah. Because this is what I think is fine. I think this finally. I mean, of course, like I said, at this point, it's all hypotheticals and it's all like a wish list. But I think what it is, like I said, it goes with the plan of what LA does. They bring in superstars to basically keep the train moving along. Sometimes they bring in a superstar that's going to be productive. Other times they bring in uh, other times they bring in players, saying that aren't as productive. I think it's unfortunate, although I do believe Russell Westbrook could have been advantageous the second time around. I just think it wasn't the right fit with him and Vogel. But now you have an opportunity to have a Kyrie and KD at the same time. Basically, just switch move positions. This is almost it's not the same position, but this is no different from moving Rondo, KG, and Paul Pierce to Brooklyn from Boston that year. Except for they were a little past their prime when they did that. Now KD and Kyrie wouldn't be, but this is the type of move in which the Lakers get for the most part. The same move in which they would have had Kawhi Leonard decided not to spurn them and could have came to LA as opposed to going to the Clippers.
And that's the thing. I mean, I don't know if KD would want to play with LeBron, man. I mean, really, I don't. You
I
know,
think LeBron is ready to pass the torch, and
you
it's
know,
just at this point it just gets some more dubs.
but I don't think KD. I don't know if KD. I know Kyrie would play with LeBron, but I don't know if KD want to play with LeBron. Um, I mean, he would have to because it's a trade, but I don't know. I don't know if that'll fit uh, as far as. Um, we know KD not an alpha, so he does need somebody. But man, LA, I can't see KD going to LA. Kyrie, I can see that, but I can't see KD going to LA. I think he like playing against LeBron. I think he like trying to beat LeBron.
right. And if I'm
I
the
think.
Lakers,
Go ahead, Ron.
if I'm the Lakers, that's what I'm telling KD. I'm like, hey, LeBron has 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah, real talk. Like this will be your team. In 2 years, this could be your team.
Exactly, it will be 1 year, maybe two, running it with LeBron, try to win a chip, and then we're moving forward with you, KD. You are the Lakers.
Hey, well, that makes more sense because no.
Stop it, coach. How dare you? He's not going back to Golden State. He's definitely not going back to Golden State. Draymond has diminished that. He's not going back to Jordan. The only way he goes back to Golden State is Draymond isn't there.
And yeah, I don't think Phoenix will move Booker. They just paid him, right? I don't. They just gave him a supermax
Yeah,
deal or something,
yeah.
right?
He's
I
not.
don't
Yeah,
think
he's not going anywhere. He can't go anywhere.
some
Right.
trades
The
can't
best,
be made though,
Well,
right?
he can't go anywhere for 30 days, and then after that, unless there's other restrictions, he then. But like you said, you basically have to move him for his whole contract. It's almost like a sign and trade. Like Booker isn't going nowhere.
Well, I was gonna say I saw something about I was watching ESPN and I saw something about they couldn't trade Booker to the Nets for a piece for whatever because he got that because they had what
The
about
Superman.
the extension. Yeah, like something about the Supermax extension that he
Yeah,
couldn't go to.
he's off the so people like Carl Anthony Towns, John Morant, all those players those that just signed those extensions aren't eligible to be traded. So that almost takes guarantees Phoenix is out the running because only other piece that they have left that probably would be worth it would be DeAndre Ayton. In which who's trading DeAndre? You like that? There has to be uh, a huge overhaul, or that would be another 3 to 14 trade, in which had to be enacted to make that happen. So
Oh,
yeah, it's not.
that's right. They said the only way that Phoenix. They said the only way that Phoenix could potentially be in that trade for Kevin Durant, a Booker could be in that trade is if they got rid of Ben Simmons because they both got that extension, the rookie extension thing or whatever, and two teams can't. You can't have two players on the same team with that extension or something like that, with that rookie
Mm,
extension or something. So yeah, so Ben Simmons would have to be moved in order for Booker to go there.
yeah. So, but I think it's a possibility. I mean, it's just if it's going to happen, that is what it determines. I figure it'd be kind of hard for for them to do. I mean, you got to think you're basically taking uh breaking up the clutch sports crew when you when you have LeBron, he's in LA, but then you finna take AD and send him about his way to bringing KD, excuse me, and maybe on Kyrie, and then send Westbrook as well, and which is probably why Westbrook was sitting and waiting to basically opt in, trying to avoid them, try to play him to the left and get rid of him, but basically opt in. Uh, Kyrie opted. So I think the money. I mean, with trading the both of them, the money's right. Uh, if they trade them in tandems, uh,
Because
at
Westbrook is almost 48 mil this year, 47 mil this year.
Westbrook is 48 mil. I think. I think without a doubt, AD is in the 40 million. So that's 80 million right there. We know Kyrie is 36 million. I'm not sure what KD's numbers are
Is it like
currently.
36?
Yeah, so that's 80 million. So that saying that works up, but of course you want to get as much value as you can. So I figured I peppered the pot with getting THT. THT is like I think 11 million. Um, and maybe Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn is only 6 million. Uh, and then sip and see how that works and go from there. But I think it's a possibility. But it's just to see, like you said, if and it sets. I think it sets the Lakers up to have to give them a little time for the next potential players to be playing why trying to win a championship. LeBron James maybe 2 more years. Whether he retires or he goes play someone else to finish out his career, but that gives him 2 more years in which he can run. Then KD and Kyrie potentially could take over. Uh, Unfortunate for Russ, uh, but I mean it's a business. You gotta make things happen. So I'm not opposed to it in this faction. Besides, as like I said, I've always been a person that's saying that I would prefer like Anthony AD would be the trade that is going to bring them some that's going to bring value back. Nothing against Russell, but I always figured that AD would be the ones.
I would figure the Lakers would give it one more run with LeBron and AD.
I mean, and that's the flip side. So additionally, I think that's going to be because what I definitely don't foresee is them trading Westbrook for Kyrie. I don't see that. Without a doubt, I don't see that. But I do foresee them doing the situation. I do foresee them trading AD and Westbrook
AD and Westbrook.
because it's not. I don't foresee nothing against Westbrook. I just think that there's no one else is going to take him outside the Lakers. Is going to take him head up just to be
Right.
head up. Like the LA would keep him around if they have to run it back with him if they can't get anything else. But I just think this is a situation to where presumably this can be too good of a deal to pass up for the most part. And
Yeah.
but if it doesn't happen, then they're fine with keeping AD and Russell at this point. But what I hope is the situation is this is just rumors and it isn't being played out, and then it doesn't happen, and then we have the same debacle that we had when they tried to get Chris Paul, and that didn't happen. And then the team basically was frayed because everyone was in their feelings because they feel like you tried to trade me. Then you couldn't trade me, so now you want me to play for you. Like, what I'm saying, we can have that with Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis, where they might be from fragile and can be shattered, and now we have a whole problem for the next year or up until the trade deadline because they felt like they was shopped around and it didn't happen, and now you want me to come back and play for you after you tried to get rid of me.
Yeah. That's a good question that Coach asked right there. Though. That's a good question.
Too bad Bishop isn't here to answer, so I gave it to y'all. So who, as Coach Uriah said, who's to blame for the debacle in Brooklyn? The front office, coaching, or Kyrie? You know what? That brings up a good question. Additionally, do you think Nash has some play in this as well? Like, he's inexperienced and he's really not that well of a coach, and that could be some of the issue as well.
Well, that puts it all on the front office, right? You talking coaches, you talking the coaching decision and the players. I know Kevin Durant said that he wanted Nash, but I never would have brought a rookie coach in if he was trying to win. I would have went a different direction. Nash, I don't know. It's not just him though. It's the front. For me, it's the front office because you gambled on Kyrie. You knew what you was gonna get from Kevin Durant. He gonna give you the 30. He'll give you almost 30 points. He gonna do his thing. But you saw what Kyrie did. You saw how Kyrie left Cleveland, not on good terms. You saw how he left Boston, not on good terms, and you still took the gamble on Kyrie. So that's a front office thing right there, as far as the moves that they made, and then the coaching decision, man. Like, why was Nash? How did Nash jump to the head of the line over other coaches that you could have got, over coaches that could have helped you make deeper playoff runs or possibly even win a championship with some of the rotation, some of the moves. Clearly, not this past season where they got beat in the first round, but when they went in the semifinals against the Bucks, it was clear, man, that a rookie coach like Nash didn't know what he was doing. Like Kevin Durant come for injury, playing all those minutes, playing all those minutes and ran out of gas at OT. It's like, what did you expect was going to happen? Like, he will get tired at some point. Like, he wasn't fully healthy. It's just understanding the game. So yeah, I blame the front office for picking a coach like Nash and picking up Kyrie.
So, like you just said, CC, it's a list, and I feel like Nash is at the bottom of the list. He's so adorable. The 2-time MVP winning, maybe one of the greatest point guards ever. I'm just thinking about last year when KD was battling the Bucks and he had like that incredible game, and Nash didn't do a single thing but stand there on the sidelines. And at the end of the game, he's just hugging KD, just like, "I'm gonna ride you to a ring, KD." But speaking of KD, I'm gonna give him the most blunt part of the catastrophe, because he's the leader. Everything went in circle around him. Although he was being led by Rob and Trey because they went to Brooklyn because of Kyrie. They're kind of one and the same, but Kevin Durant, you want to try and be LeBron James and create your own dynasties and do it your own way, which we love and you should, but you got an awakening on how hard and how much you have to deal with. And the biggest thing with me is the relationship between the brothers, Kyrie, Harden, and you, KD. Like, that has to be your priority. That has to be your prerogative, keeping y'all three close knit, because that's what it is. Y'all are the championship. Put whatever pieces you can around, and that's what's going to work. And for some reason, James Harden disconnected and went his own way. He was jealous of you and Kyrie's friendship, how y'all was cool, y'all was tight, and ultimately you understood why Kyrie didn't want to play. James Harden clearly didn't, and he wasn't having it. And he's like, I'm not having fun. We're not going to be competing. The team's a mess, and we ain't even cool like that. So, yeah, trade me. And then it comes down to the Nets management. Like, if the Nets wasn't so dang stubborn, you know what, Kyrie? This is our bed. We made it. We want to keep KD here, and I guess you got to stay here too, Robin. Here goes your money. Here goes your max. They couldn't get the contract done. The Nets fumbled the bag. Sign Kyrie. He gonna be crazy. But guess what? You got Kyrie Irving on your team. There's a whole lot more worse problems you could have in life and running a basketball team than having Kyrie Irving. Sign the man, get him under contract, get Ben Simmons to play, make this year work, and if not, start working on some trades behind the scenes. You got till February to make it happen. It's just, yep. So Brooklyn Nets management, number 2. And then number 3, Kyrie, and Nash at number 4. Woo. Brooklyn Nets, man. I can't wait for the documentary 10 years from now.
Fumble the bag.
The behind the scenes James Harden interview when they like, James, what really was going on? You're like, bruh.
But Ron, does it directly reflect on the leadership of that team when KD just says, I want to trade? Like these dudes just say, they're just telling them what they want. Like,
right. And that's why Nash was there in the first place.
Yeah, they just telling them what they want, and they doing it. Like, it's like Brooklyn Nets complying with every decision the players make.
And guess what, CC? If Kevin Durant was on my team and wanted to come play, I'm doing whatever he wants to. You want Steve Nash? Steve Nash don't know how to coach. We got what's my guy that was coaching the Warriors?
Mike Brown.
Mark Jackson.
Yeah, no, not Mike Brown. The one Steve Kerr's job.
Mark Jackson.
Yeah, like we got Mark Jackson available candidates. We got all these guys. You sure you want Steve Nash, KD? Yeah, bring in Nash. Hey. Sure, KD. Whatever you need.
Like I said, hopefully, we in the next couple of days we hear something. I have one question, another question. What do you think is going to be KD's not KD, Harden's bag? 30 million. You think he's going to take a cut, or he gets back to the 40+ million? Do you even like the moves made by Philly, even though Harris is still there?
Love him.
Yeah, I think James Harden going Tom Brady and take less money, and prove himself. I think they already talked to him and told him, if you want to make this work here, you're gonna have to take less money, to make it work. So yeah, I think he on board with that. He can't argue with it. He can't say that he deserved the max.
if Harden come out and take less money, I'm going to go order my Sixers Harden jersey that second. That's what I'm talking about. That is, ooh, okay. We just said Harden gonna they're gonna overpay 3 years. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna give him what he want. I wouldn't ask him to take less. Because these superstars is too egotistic. And if I'm Daryl Morey, I want the best version of James Harden. I want a happy James Harden. I want a James Harden that is happy going to the bank. And I don't want any way to get into his head or his feelings, because there's gonna come a point in the season where him and Embiid aren't vibing. And Harden could become a slippery slope the second something make him unhappy. And I don't want to be a reason for any one of those things that making him unhappy. I'm gonna bring him peace, because I feel like you and Embiid put the right pieces around y'all can win a championship.
So do you think Harden goes to begin the season starting point guard, or he's going to be the 2?
I want him at point guard.
Yeah, I think he has a ball in his head. I think you want Harden making the decisions. Like
Maxey the 2?
No,
off the bench.
Yeah, I want Thibault at the 2. Maxey, our 6th man, bring us that energy. You can take over. It's the Maxey show. Once Harden comes out the game, Maxey, do your thing.
Then PJ Tucker at the 3 or the 4.
The 4, and we got old Tobias Harris, old faithful at the 3. I love it.
Yeah,
that's a great lineup. Second out East.
2 seed in the East?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So with that being said, I know.
What happened?
He said maybe 3. Because I was about to say, so what do you think for the possibility now that Chicago has added Andre Drummond? What do you think the possibility is them getting back to where they were the 1 seed and actually holding on with a healthy DeMar DeRozan, a healthy Ball, a healthy Caruso, a healthy Williams, and a healthy Levine?
You went to a whole lot of players that got to stay healthy.
Well, you gotta think. Look at it. You gotta look at it.
That's a long list.
Lonzo, because you gotta think they was on fire when they had all them. They was the number 1 team in the East,
and they all dang injury prone.
And they all lose. Caruso broke his elbow from that hard foul. Lonzo was out for whatever reason. Yeah. So that was in his fault. But I mean, at that point, at the beginning of the season, Caruso was was averaging the most steals in the NBA until he got hurt. Lonzo went down. I think once Lonzo went down, it's coaches like you said. Once Lonzo went down, it was all over.
Right.
DeMar did what he could. He kind of had to do heavy lifting without Levine. They would come in here and there, but I think now they have a possibility where it could be a situation where everyone, like I stated though, one thing I did say, every team is going to get better in some way, form, or fashion. Golden State is not running it back. If Golden State runs it back, I might switch allegiances.
But I think Chicago's move is more about. I think their move is more about. They look at late in the season more than regular season. They look at postseason.
Just like Coach just said, Adam Drummond is a very underrated answer. Lots guarding players like Embiid.
Wait, what?
I think
it's like
postseason.
Don't let. I know you didn't just say Andre Drummond's good for guarding players like Embiid. You could have got away with it if you could have said any other player except Embiid that embarrasses that man on a daily basis.
I mean, but he'll make it tough for him. I mean, it's like certain players run. You know, you can't stop them, but you could at least make it.
Right.
You could at least make it work for it. You know. Yeah.
Right. You know. Right. That we ain't gonna talk about Drummond like he's a defensive stopper though.
But I get what Coach is saying.
Very good.
Make them work.
Make them work. I feel like the Chicago Bulls, if they stay healthy, are 4th best out in the East. Bucks, Sixers. I want to put the Heat, but I don't. I'm disappointed in the moves they've made. I thought they was gonna do something huge. And y'all know who I put up at the top of the East? The Hawks. And then we get to the Bulls.
Really?
Notice I didn't
I
say
think y'all.
Boston.
I think y'all giving too much. I think there's too much credence given to this Hawks connection now with Dejounte Murray and Trey Young. But it remains to be seen because I just seen where supposedly they're shopping. Atlanta is shopping Hurter and Collins still.
Yeah. Look for them to land DeAndre Ayton.
Okay.
This is the perfect opportunity because if Trey Young and DeJounte work, DeJounte's contract I think is for like 2, maybe 3 more years. So we don't got to worry about paying him. The only person we got to pay is Trey right now. There is a lot of opportunity for Atlanta. I don't think they're done.
Yeah, because I think Trey, Luca, who is I think is it Tatum? I think they all come up on their extension.
Yeah. I mean Clint Capella. Yeah, I'm moving on from Clint. It's been fun, but I'm going after Rudy Gobert or DeAndre Ayton. Let's get a real big man in here, and this backcourt about to be fire. Fire. Talk about never having an issue with knowing what's going on with the ball on the court.
Interesting. Okay, I can see it from that
Is there a
aspect.
better backcourt in the NBA than that?
Then Devontae, Murray and Young.
Right. The closest is Steph and Clay.
I don't know. A better backcourt?
That's crazy if the Hawks got the best backcourt. And if you want to say Harden and Maxey is a backcourt, but no, not really.
You might be on something. That could be. I'm going through in my mind like every backcourt. It might, like you say, Steph and Clay.
Right.
Paul and Booker, right?
The Hawks is a top 4 seed.
Paul and Booker.
Oh, we can't forget about them. That's the best backcourt.
I was about to say the coaches. I was about to say Bane and Morant.
No, Morant's so good though.
I mean, yeah, Bane Morant, but even though Morant is more of the lifting.
Right. I'm still taking Trey and Murray over Morant and but not CP3.
I would even be put Brown and
no Smart.
Yeah. I would even put Smart. Yeah, Brown and Smart.
Brown and Smart. Come on.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, probably not better than that. Probably not better, but
we'll give them the 5th spot. We'll give them the 5th spot. Back.
Coach said Luka by himself is better than those two.
Oh my God.
That's all right. Top. So Ron, I know this. You didn't have Boston anywhere in that top 4.
Right. You know, I keep telling folks that. I mean, Boston, y'all had an incredible run, but don't forget about the entirety of the NBA season. October, November, December, January. We was looking at y'all at the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th season. Y'all was struggling. Everybody in Boston was angry. They wanted to blow it up. And let's not forget how bad y'all were. Y'all flipped it around, and it was historic. Is it easy to repeat history? No, it's not. So if y'all think y'all going to come back in here, teams that always lose a championship, always have a hangover, y'all got a lot of chemistry issues to figure out. I just don't think they're going to just come in and clicking and rolling. I feel like they're going to struggle, and I got them getting 6th, 7th seed maybe, and competing in the play-in. That's my hot take for them.
So your top 4. So your top 4 is who? You don't have to give them in any particular order. Who's your top 4?
Bucks, Sixers, Heat, and I'm stuck between the Bulls and the Hawks.
And what about the West?
Ooh, that's when it gets juicy, but it's Golden State versus everybody else.
Okay.
Golden State. I would go Memphis at number 2. Number 3. I need some help, y'all. Who am I forgetting?
We'll run down. You got Portland, the Clippers,
Dallas,
the
Phoenix.
Lakers, Dallas, Phoenix, Utah, Denver.
I'm throwing
Denver might be.
the Clippers in the top 4 if they stay healthy.
You know who's being left. You know who's being left out there, man. It's Denver, man. Denver has been formidable without
Yeah,
2 top players.
right.
Like when they get MPJ and Murray back.
If they come back healthy, that's the best team in the West.
Oh,
Healthy. MPJ ain't coming back healthy.
okay.
With Jamal Murray coming back, they're top 4 easily. But if all 3 of them dudes is rolling, and Michael Porter's nasty. It's a sad story, man. I don't think his back is ever.
I think in the West, the top seed, the number 1 seed gonna be the Clippers. Like
You said
they're
it's
gonna
gonna
run
be
through the league.
Clippers?
Yeah, as long as they're healthy, man. As all those dudes healthy, they're gonna run through the league.
I support that.
Especially they picked
I
up
can't
John
support
Wall, so you know they picked up John Wall. They like he won't be the old John Wall, but it'll be good enough what Teron Lue's gonna use him for out there, man.
The fact,
the
fact that they just need a big man and a center, and they can throw out PG 6'8", 6'9", Kawhi Leonard 6'8", 6'9", and Robert Covington at the 2, 3, and 4. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is a ridiculous defense. You're not doing nothing on the perimeter.
Well, they have a center in Zika. They just re-signed him. Zubac. Another one of those players who don't need much. He's going to do all the work. He's going to do all the dirty work and doesn't really need anything.
Right.
But I still can't support that.
You went to the Lakers, but the Clippers. I think the Clippers gonna be the number 1 seed over there. Like Golden State it'll be the Clippers and Golden State 1 and 2 over there, and with the Grizzlies coming 3rd. Grizzlies will be 3rd.
No love for the Pelicans. The Nolia.
Look at the Pelicans
No.
fly.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I'm definitely sleeping on the Pelicans. I think I want to put them in the top 4, CC.
You gonna put them in the top 4?
I think I want to do it, fellas. The Pelicans is good. If Zion comes, Zion's looking good. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I would go somewhere like 6 or 7 somewhere in there.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
Coach Uriah states Warriors, Clippers, Grizzlies, Nuggets, Lakers, Pelicans, Jazz, Wolves, Mavericks in that order.
Mavericks at the back.
I told you I can agree with that. I think the Mavericks are gonna have a drop off. Like for the reason which we've been talking about. It's going to be they have to find someone to put next to Luka. The Luka has to buy in. Currently, we look at it. We think what is what I was about to say, or they don't have a court guard. Unless Dinwiddie and Hardaway Jr. is their backcourt.
I think it's still some moves to be made.
True, right? Yeah, definitely.
I want to point out
the Jazz, though. Huh?
Go ahead, Ron. Then I'll come back to you, CC. Go ahead, Ron.
I want to hear what you about to say about the Jazz.
Okay, go ahead, CC.
I was just gonna say the Jazz. Who are they gonna have? If you're talking about Gobert leaving, Mitchell was talking about leaving. Who are they gonna have to even make a playoff run?
Yeah, Jazz ain't making the playoffs next year.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was looking at coach's list. Like, where the Jazz? I don't think the Jazz gonna make it because who's gonna be there?
And the thing that sticks out to me is our number 1 seed. We keep talking about the Warriors. Are they or are they not old?
The Warriors are getting up there. True.
The season is long.
Steph Curry will be what, 35?
Yeah, 34. He's the oldest. Draymond, I think, is 33, and Clay's like 31. To think that they are going to, it sucks them. They lost Peyton too. They're not going to be able to.
And they just lost Porter.
They lost Peyton. Yeah, they're losing their depth.
Yeah, Otto Porter Jr. signs with the Raptors.
Nah, I think Golden State finished 4th or 5th.
Yeah, I gave them second. I think they're
Too much is on Steph's shoulders. I can't believe they ain't make a deal. They could have traded all these players and brought in a big star, and instead we're gonna see them all slowly trickle away. If they do not
I honestly,
retain Poole, it's gonna be a travesty.
I honestly believe that they're about to start making the play for the other players that's on their bench. They just drafted three. They drafted three, um, and then they of course they still have Kaminga, Moody, and Wiseman. So I think they're making so to now currently they have let Peyton walk out the door, Porter walk out the door. Even though he probably wasn't the issue, Toscano Anderson walk out the door. Um,
It don't make no sense to me because we all just got done watching the NBA Finals. In the fourth quarter, who was Golden State starting at guard and who was on the bench? Gary
yeah,
Payton was playing them fourth quarter minutes, and Jordan Poole got no burn. And I,
but I think
I'm
they
not letting
saying
Gary Payton walk out the door.
I think they saying they're going more homegrown because the people that's walking away were people that were just additions to the team anyway. Gary Payton
mm,
wasn't drafted there. Otto Porter came from. Didn't he play in Denver the year before? Wasn't he a
Washington.
Nugget or something like that?
I think he was in
Okay.
Washington.
Yeah. So like that's basically what they're doing is saying that we can build from.
Keeping it homegrown, yeah.
We can build from inside.
And that's what's been their staple for the most part. They only have bits and pieces that aren't a part of their original, or like you said, homegrown for the most part. Andre Iguodala, he's there now. He was, but of course, I think he's transcended into even what's going to be one of those Udonis Haslam type roles, or saying, or we're going to look up and he's going to be on the bench in a suit in a couple of years as an assistant and freeing up some room. Um, like y'all keep saying, I doubt they let Poole. I'm very sure they're gonna lock up Poole. He's not gonna go anywhere. He serves as a pretty good backup to Steph. Um, who else they got up there that was already on the team? Looney, that's still the conversation. Looney, is he gonna end up walking out the door?
Looney
What,
might
what
leave to Looney might leave to get the money. He might, they might have to though. If they want Wiseman, they can't keep all those. They can't keep everybody. So if they want Wiseman to get a crack, they might have to move away from Kavada Looney. They might have to move away from him to give Wiseman that shot.
Well, Wiseman was there initially till he got injured, and then Looney just basically came up and started making the play. So it remains to be seen. Like but definitely that is the next thing we should be hearing. One, like that news is Looney has signed with somebody else, or two, that Wiseman or that he has signed re-signed with the Golden State Warriors. Um, Anthony Price asked who's more important, Poole or Wiggins.
Woo!
Without a doubt, Wiggins is, but they have to pay him money. They got to pay him.
Wiggins, I think Wiggins, he can do more things on the court for you other than just shoot. So yeah, I go Wiggins, but uh, yeah, I don't think Wiggins, like they'll have Wiggins, but they won't, like I think Poole will stay also. But I think if the odd man out, it might be Looney. Looney might be the odd man out if they can't work something out with it.
It's coming. It's of course, like you said, you got more to be said, more to talk about, of course, because, like you said, everything isn't necessarily official until the 6th of July. So, Ron, who's more important, Wiggins or Poole?
The 6'9" small forward that won me games in the NBA Finals.
I
You
feel
know,
that.
I've been saying trade Poole all season.
Coach says
Mm-hmm.
Poole is overrated. Coach stands by that. Poole is overrated. Patty Mills could replace Poole production for a lot cheaper. But Patty already re-signed for what, 6 million, 6.5 million, or something like that.
Yeah, with like the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, he's back. He's still in Brooklyn. It remains. But
Yeah,
then of course we got in a couple of weeks we'll be having summer league play, so we'll be seeing what that's looking like. Check out these summer teams. So it's more to be said and more to be seen. Like these organization teams, we still got certain things in the fray. What happens if Sharif and Scottie Pippen Jr. show out? That's two more you add to the fray. To more, I'm reaching
You
around.
see how
You
Lakers
know,
fans be hoping to
I was gonna say
trade?
this, but that's what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say about the Lakers was that whole, I don't know about the O'Neal. I don't know about the O'Neal kid, but I would say like the Scottie Pippen Jr. man, that might be a good look for the Lakers. That
Yeah, I
might
heard
be
he
a
can shoot.
that, and I'm sure he got to have some of that defense, right? Like you know what I'm saying, like the Lakers need a little defense, perimeter defense. I think that might be, that might be
And
a
then they
key
got
piece right.
hard nosed. They have a hard nosed coach in Darvin Ham. I just hope it's not one of the situations to where he's too hard nosed and he starts to starts to hurt the organization by players not wanting to be there.
But what is too hard nose, man? Well, I guess today the millennial society, I guess it is too hard nose. I was
Or
like,
even
what's
the
too
old
hard
heads,
nose?
even those
Saying
old
do your
heads that
job.
don't like that type of stuff.
Well, I think that's the problem with Popovich, right? I think that's the problem with Popovich right now. Some of the young players can't get on board with what he's doing over there, with the way he runs things. But man, I think it's all about the mindset, right? I don't think Ham will be any different than Vogel, to be honest. I still think the players are still gonna have, especially LeBron. I think he's proven that no matter who the coach is, he has a little bit more say than the average players.
Okay, I was about to say because remember what he done to Platt.
Yeah,
Darvin Ham gonna be like, we're gonna do this. We running this play. I need you this over here. I need you over there. Hey, LeBron, that work with you? All right, cool. That's what we're doing.
And Silver read a clipboard like we're gonna run this, but like he's like side eyed to make sure LeBron is cool with it. He's like, okay, yes, we're gonna go ahead and run this.
Yeah.
Oh man. LeBron gonna be like, I need to be CC'd on all emails, Ham.
That's not how we're gonna do things. LA, let's go. Let's get this trade taken care of and start to continue to build from the inside. We have a full summer league team to build from. Nothing but young talent.
There is literally no player that the Nets could get better than Anthony Davis. Like if Utah calls and like, you know what, Donovan don't want to be here, we'll send you Donovan. You send us Kevin Durant. Would you rather have that or AD?
So in that scenario, honestly, I think I'd rather have Donovan because you still have to take into consideration your other one star that's there is Ben. We have to take into consideration the consistency of AD staying healthy.
If you're Brooklyn, are you taking a call from Orlando, Houston, or OKC for one of them top 3 picks this year? KD. I think that would be ultimately the best for them to really blow it up and just get some young pieces, some good young pieces like a Banchero or Smith. Send KD down to Houston, figure out some way to send his buddy Kyrie with him. But I don't know. I feel like nobody.
I think Jabari. I do think Jabari is going to be the higher ceiling in that trio.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, I think he has the best. I think he's in the best situation. Just they have to make it work because there's about a lot of young talent that everyone's going to try to get in their bag. Everyone's going to try to show what they got, but that's a lot of young talent.
It's going to be an incredible year. Incredible.
But I would, if I was the Jazz, KD would be a move for them. But Donovan Mitchell going to the Nets though. I don't know. I think you getting the same thing you had with Kyrie. Except different. Donovan Mitchell injury, whatever, not playing a lot of games. If that's what you're looking for, and not being there when you really need him on your playoff runs. Then yeah, that'll be an all right move. It'll be a bad move for Brooklyn, a good move for KD to get out of there.
Do y'all think
How many?
Pop leaves in 2 years or more?
I think he leaving soon because they just picked up. I think he picked up his replacement this week. Uh,
Mm,
uh, as assistant coach, bringing what's his name, Brett Brown back or whatever. Uh, used to coach Philly or whatever, bringing Brett
yeah,
Brown back. I think he found his
yeah.
replacement. I think Pop out of there sooner than later.
They brought Brett Brown back.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
man, y'all better start selling all your Spurs stock. I lived that life. How he get another job? My God,
He came back as assistant.
man.
Do y'all think Donovan or Rudy gets moved before the start of the season, before October?
1,000%.
Mm.
Yeah, I think at least one of them at minimum.
It's gonna be
But
Gobert.
then,
If Mitchell ain't asked for a trade, I ain't trading him.
but they just got that. I forgot who the coach is now, but then they just get a new coach.
Uh, Will, isn't it the Will Hardy?
Yeah, I think that. But that's
Coach,
I
another
think
player from the Coach
Gobert.
Popovich tree.
Yeah, I think Gobert. I think Gobert. I think Gobert is going somewhere. I think teams would rather have Gobert. It'll be more for Gobert than you can get for Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, you really? You think so?
Yeah,
Well,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah,
a lot of teams already have that two guard type thing.
yeah.
A lot of
They have
teams already have
offense.
that
Yeah.
shooting guard and stuff. They had an offense, so I think Gobert, his defense, and his defense, and like you said, you don't have to give him the ball, you don't have to run no plays for him. You know, I think he got a better upside, a better chance of being moved than Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, I could get that. I could get with that. I'll get with that. So of course we know, of course, throughout the course of this the week or weekend, there's going to be more moves and stuff like that. As we know, since we've been on here, there've been a couple more where it's like I said, Otto Porter Jr. Has been moved. I think it was another move that was made a little bit earlier. Let me go back and see if I can find it. I think it was another move that was made that someone had said something about. So moves are being made still. We still have a situation where we see if Zion gets his extension that was to lock him up in New Orleans over the course of the next 3 to 4 or 5 years. So we have all those moves being made. Moving into a little football, we have a little time, about 10, 15 more minutes. Conversations. Of course, as we know, yesterday ended Deshaun Watson's hearing with the disciplinary officer from the NFL, in which now we are just basically standing by and waiting to see what the outcome is going to be. Um, and that outcome is going to probably take about 3 or 4 weeks because possibly when you look at, or maybe a little sooner. But I know one thing is that the disciplinary officer stated that she needed the files for everything, and she gave them until the 11th of July, which is actually 2 weeks away. If they decide to take up all that time, so she can look over a couple more things before rendering what her recommendation is. Of course, that gives the option for Deshaun to appeal, and if he does appeal it, then of course it goes back into another process. So let's say hypothetical. Let's say that they come back. She comes back with a 8 game 8 game of suspension. If you're Deshaun, do you just go ahead and take that? Uh, if if that comes up, if the NFL agrees with it, we'll do 8 games. Are you taking that when you was potentially looking at an indefinite with a year at minimum?
No, because the process is always, the process when they get disciplined is most of the time to appeal. So he's going to appeal it, and Goodell's just going to smack his hand down and say, ruling final anyway. So but you go through the motions and you do the appeal. you especially after you already missed the full season.
But you know, a lot of people keep speaking about the missing of the full season. The missing of the full season was a precautionary measure, and it wasn't punishment. It was precaution. Yeah, I guess you can see
Okay,
it as punishment, but it was precaution.
so let me ask you a question. Let me stop you right there. Let me ask you a question. Who was it a precautionary thing for? Because as a player,
Houston,
you want to play, so
the
that's
Texans.
punishment. It's punishment
It
to the
was
player.
it was precautionary for the Texans. That's what it was. But I'm very sure
Right, but
because I'm very sure I don't know if he gets suspended for 6, 9 a year under the policy. I haven't read it or that CBA. Do they get paid for that year, or are they without pay for that year?
he loses some money though, right? Like on a suspension, like they can suspend him with pay or without pay, right? Don't they have the
Yeah,
option?
so I think it's without play. So what he was suspended when he didn't play last year, he was just inactive, but he was still getting paid. So that's why I say, like, I mean, true enough, you want to pay. But I pose this question back to you. I serve it back to you in your court. Would you rather be paid and not play, or play? Like, do you have a
I mean,
quarrel with
as a
not
player,
playing at this?
I
That's
mean,
the
you get
big
paid,
boy.
but get paid, but get paid to not play. But at the same time, you know, players want to play, man. You've been a player before, and at all costs, you want to play. Like you want to be out there. Especially a quarterback, you want to help your team, you want to play. But hey, you can get paid to sit there. You probably only get paid sitting there.
I mean, we just saw John Wall do it.
I'll be rooting for y'all from Cancun.
As soon as your off season starts, to be like, I'm out there like I'm 7 times shares. Like I've been here. This is what we got. You know what I'm saying? Just come talk to me.
Oh, timeshares on them.
But what you was about to say, Cornelius?
Oh, I was reading what Zach
The
had
8
put up
games.
there.
Yeah,
The
8 games
games
would
would
be
be
a
a win.
win.
It depends on who you ask, man. I don't know. I'm sure for Deshaun, it's a loss all the way around. No matter how many games you suspended at this point, like how many careers survive being sitting out 2 years? I mean, and you come back and you expect to perform at a high level. He's expected to perform at a high level. To take the Browns somewhere to do something. Uh, and it's potentially he won't play for almost 2 years. Even 1.5 years is a long time. You know, so how many people can not getting hit, not being in that football shape, not what I'm saying, not out there. I mean, that's gonna make a difference in his career. Like this is a career. These blows are to his career right now. So how effective is he gonna be sitting out 8 games, sitting out a year? What is he gonna bring to the table? Is he gonna be worth all that money that they pay?
I hate to say it, but unfortunately, the blows to his career was him and his affinities for masseuses. That's what
I
was
mean,
the
I get
blows to
that.
his career.
I mean, I get that,
That
but I'm saying,
yeah.
yeah, I
So,
mean, I
but
get
you know,
that.
what I'm saying it's unfortunate. You know, what I'm saying we all. I'm very sure we all have vices. So, uh,
I mean, I
yeah,
get that. I'm just saying, like, how effective. I mean, so did the Browns, like that Browns organization, did they really make a smart move? You know,
I can see. I can completely understand that
yeah.
because they
Baker
had to
Mayfield
have known that it was
looking
coming.
good right
This was
now.
coming.
Baker Mayfield looking pretty good right now.
He's in his
Just
armor.
saying.
Way.
So of course, I'm very sure, and I wish Bishop was on so that you have this, but I'm very sure he's going to reinstitute on Monday. UCLA and USC have been approved to make a move, leaving the Pac-12 and proceeding to the Big Ten 2024. Now pushing the Big Ten to rival the SEC with 16 teams apiece. As we know, Texas and Oklahoma is going to be moving to the SEC. Now you have USC and UCLA moving to the Big Ten. Which do you think is a larger move at this point?
See, Trey, you got when we started this, you said we doing all basketball today.
I
No,
had
that went through my mind was, wait,
the
what?
news. The news. It's just I'm just reporting the news. That's all I report the news.
So, Trey, you a USC fan?
Yes, I am.
You know I love my Michigan Wolverines. I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
like, we in 2024, we gonna be hating each other so much. Better come into our conference and beat my Wolverines. It's about to be incredible. Multiverse of madness. I still can't believe the news. You see.
And this is unfortunate because that's going to leave a huge hole in the Pac-12. Of course, you know the Pac-12. Who was the Pac-12? The ACC. I can't think of the other conference. They all aligned after the conversation being had when the SEC picked up Utah. I mean, picked up Oklahoma and Texas. But now USC and UCLA now in the Big 12. I mean the Big 10.
Game over.
That's yeah. The SEC has problems now on this. The Ducks can have it. The Ducks can have it,
But when are they
Anthony.
gonna change the name? When are they gonna change the name from the Big Ten to something else? Like
They probably not
that's
because they didn't. Yeah, they didn't switch
what's
the back to. Yeah, so they're probably not. So, because you got to think the only thing they did when they got they've been past having 10 teams. So the only thing they did last time was switch the logo, the Big Ten logo.
But my question to you guys would be: do you think you think UCLA and USC are ready to compete in the Big Ten? Because those teams haven't been that great the last 4 or 5 years. Do you think they're ready to compete in the Big Ten?
So
No,
I think
With the Michigans, the Ohio States, the
no.
Penn States. Do you think they ready?
so. This is why I say. This is what I say.
Boys.
So this is why I say. What what we have now is we have 2 years for Lincoln Riley. Look at Bishop. Don't what? How dare you? The blasphemous conversation. What this is what we have now. Basically, we have 2 years for Lincoln Riley to get his footing. It's going to be in a different conference. It's in a lesser conference for the most part. But we have 2 years for Lincoln Riley to get his footing and kind of like understand and see. By that time, Caleb Williams be gone, but we do still have Malachi that would still be there presumably, or not, or maybe in his second year at that point playing before we go into Big 12 play. Before we go into Big 12 play, I mean Big 10 play. But let's not forget that the Pac-12 and Big 12 and the Big 10 have played over the course of the years because that's the partnership in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, the
So
Rose
we
Bowl.
so we've seen so we've there's been play between the two conferences for the most part with the top teams at that point or the next best because if they're in the CFP then the Rose Bowl is delegated to even an at large or one of those other players those teams.
Mhm.
So we have that. Usually it's the Pac-12 team going, and we see whoever's a lesser team in the Big Ten. So that you know what I'm saying. So I think for the most part they can go in and be ready to play. I haven't looked. I mean, like you said, it's pretty heavy. You got the Michigan states, but haven't been. Ohio State is the most major is the major one. Um, Michigan, maybe. Harbaugh has them again. Um, but now you at USC. Matter of fact, let me see something.
But man, Penn State and Wisconsin haven't been any soft teams. I don't know if you follow the Big Ten like that, but they're not soft teams, man. They come with it. Uh,
Yeah.
they come with it. It's a
So, so
good
now
team.
what you get USC in football and UCLA in basketball, and not to I mean, and not to even knock the fact that you get USC has been a powerhouse in basketball the last not a powerhouse has been formidable in basketball the last couple of years. So now
Formidable.
what you yes formidable yes they've been they're one of three teams who has had a top draft point a basketball player go to the NBA. The only other two that go along with them is Duke and I think Kansas,
So that's
Kentucky.
how our team CC if they got people that go to the NBA. Got it.
So
Nah.
now the Eastern Division is, come on now, stop playing with Eastern Division in the Pac-10 in the Big Ten. Indiana,
Yeah.
Maryland, Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, and Rutgers. Ideally, I feel that they're going to put USC in the Western Division and put UCLA in the Eastern Division. USC is going to run amok in the Western Division with with Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern, Purdue, and Wisconsin. Come on now.
I don't know. I mean, I think you're taking those teams lightly when
In the
they
Western Division?
they play pretty hard. Like those teams, like very competitive games. And like I said, USC hasn't been relevant in how long in football? Like I don't see, you know. That's why I was asking. Do you think they're gonna be ready to play? Because like they could lose to Illinois, real easy. They could lose to the Fighting Illini, real easy. They could lose to the Boilermakers, real easy.
Well, I can even Boilermakers do play spoiler. So last year but I just see it's a whole different ball game, and I would think that they don't put USC up in there because you're going to put too much talent. I mean, USC is a bigger talent than UCLA. I presume that they're not going to put them both in the Western Division. That they're probably going to split them between the two, and they will put USC in the bottom half and UCLA in the top half because all the heavy hitters seem to be in the top half. And it just seems like it's a situation where, just like the SEC, all the heavy hitters are in the top half, and then there's one or two in the bottom half, and that's how you end up always with the battle between the North and the South. But of course, I'm not sure the Big 12, unlike Pac-12, the Big 10 hasn't gone to the division, going to the non-divisional aspect where they just put the top two best teams in the elite in their championship. They still go through the divisions. Yeah, I think that's going to open up a opportunity for us to be able to be division champions, a division champion, and which gives us an opportunity to play in the conference as a conference. It gives us more of an opportunity to get into the CFP.
Okay, I still don't think those moves. I don't think those moves are enough to dethrone that SEC. It's locked on the CFP. Like SEC got that locked down until they start making other moves. Like other like with Texas and Oklahoma going there also, man. Like that's really they stacked over there. Like SEC is like, yeah, we really want to lock down college football for a while as far as all the rankings, all the bowl games. They really coming for it. Like I wouldn't be surprised if at one point it's all SEC teams in the top four. You know what I'm saying? For real, I wouldn't be surprised.
If that happened, that shouldn't happen. But
Yeah,
now
because they gotta play each other. But I'm saying like a one-loss teams, a couple of one-loss teams, stranger things have happened. I think that's a thing that you got to really look at realistically. 1 through 4 could possibly be SEC teams at some point.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad now we give more competition out the Pac-12 into the Big 10.
I
Days
can't.
days days look brighter.
These USC, Michigan, Ohio State championship
Penn
game.
State's, yes, it's going to be
Be,
it's it's going to definitely be a new Don has said. So as we get close to getting ready to get up out of here, going back in a little conversation in the NBA, who are on paper right now? I know it's a little presumptuous to say because we haven't that what we believe to be getting ready to happen hasn't happened yet. But I asked this question: who right now on paper do you have NBA Finals 2023?
Bucks.
I got Clippers Bucks in the finals, and I got Clippers Bucks, and depending if Kawhi is healthy, I say Clippers gonna win it, man. Clippers.
Ron Bucks, who's your West opponent?
Right now I'm seeing Kyrie and KD. They gonna have to get split. The Lakers, Russell Westbrook, THT, the 2027 first rounder for Kyrie is brewing. And Trey, you're gonna like this. Joe Harris have to be included in the trade. Um,
Mm,
so give me Bucks versus Lakers, the old king versus the new coming king, LeBron versus Giannis. I'm here.
mm. Okay, okay. Actually, even though I like Joe Harris, I actually would prefer Seth. I think I would prefer Seth. But okay, I'm here for it. All
Flourish.
right. Okay, okay. LA, both aspects. LA is and from both of y'all's assertion, LA team will be in the
You know how
will be in the in the
the
division, will be in the
Reagan
championship.
hated in LA begging for players, and he's like, you know what? No, Joe Harris ain't good enough. We want Seth instead. Oh, okay, LA.
Hopefully, something we get some before the weekend. We probably get we get what James Harden's contract is. We'll get what the latest trade will be. LA from LA. Uh, hopefully, is brewing. Keep my eye on the prize. Uh,
Oh
and look forward to it. What you about to say, Ron?
no, I just was saying, oh yeah.
Yes, yes. So should be having a lot more to talk about Monday morning. Of course, we have Bishop to hear his nonsense and some of the things that we talk about, his excuses on Brooklyn, or hear him talk about what is wrong with Brooklyn. Hey, y'all still got Patty, Bishop. Y'all still got Patty Mills. Be happy.
Patty Mills and Ben Simmons. Here we
Yes,
come.
Ben Simmons, Patty Mills, and Nick Claxton.
Too awesome.
Yeah, we still have them. Uh, so of course it has been our time today. I greatly appreciate um, Cornelius Cole, the Stimulate Your Mind show. Uh,
Your mind.
Ron Lowe, the
The
Speak
professor.
Easy, the professor, yes, you know what I'm saying, rocking with us today, being in formation with us. High Speeds, greatly appreciate y'all checking out. Of course, Anthony, Zach, Coach Uriah. If y'all pay attention, y'all been paying attention. In the coming weeks, will be having plenty, probably after the 4th of July weekend. Um, we'll have enough to where we're going to talk to the MBA coaches that are getting ready to gear up to have their put their best foot forward with the coaches and the players as they get ready to go compete in the NBA finals on during the weekend of July 15th through the 17th. So for the next couple of weeks, we'll be having them on discussing, talking to them, giving their insight. As y'all know, if y'all was paying attention a couple of days ago, we did have a situation to where it was in question who is the best military basketball player that's out there. Which we're going to that was posed to the commissioner, so we're going to pose this to the coaches. We want to have their intake on who they see as the best coaches. A couple of names are thrown around, so we want to get that insight to find out exactly like who is the in military basketball. Just like we talk about the NBA, we'll talk about the NBA to see who is it. Do they come from the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, Marine Corps? Where are they at? So we have that conversation and go on from there. So it'll be plenty of fun. But of course, High Speeds greatly appreciate y'all rocking with us. Y'all know where to catch us Monday through Friday, 09 to 1100 hours or 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Monday through Friday. Um, I hope y'all enjoy y'all 4th of July weekend. If y'all in New Orleans at the Essence, uh, let me know how it goes. Wherever it is, be safe, enjoy yourself. Be sure to hydrate during the turn up. Gentlemen, any last words before we get up out of here?
Have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July. Uh, Safe travels out there. Though for those that's traveling, be careful out there.
Mm-hmm. Greatly appreciate y'all. Look forward to seeing y'all Monday at this point. Show dismissed. See y'all next week.